Hey, what's up guys? It's Light Spiral here with a day where I'm kind of just going to be playing around with Verdehile, the fire vampire, and going over kind of like where I use him and why I use him and why he's useful. So first, here's my Verd stats. It's looking at about like 23,000 HP, 900 attack, 800 defense, around a little under 200 speed with max crit rate and 85 crit damage. So uh, it's okay. And then the sets is Blade, Revenge, Guard. Um, Obviously, this isn't the best set. The best possible way to build him is probably Violent Revenge, or if you're using him in PvP only, Triple Revenge. But most people don't just use him in PvP, so Violent Revenge is probably the best. But I don't have good enough Violent runes, or I don't have Violent runes for him that are good. I don't know. But so these were the best runes I had for him. I have him. I'll just show you all the runes on speed, crit rate, and HP. There's two ways to build Verd. One of them is the HP build, and one of them is a damage build. So if you're using an HP build, you'll normally want to do like speed, crit rate, HP, which is what I already have. And then when you're doing the HP build, basically you're building him just as like a straight support. So you want him to be as fast as you can and as tanky as he can with 100 crit rate, so that he's just going to get a lot of turns and he'll boost your attack bar. And then there's the attack Verd, which you would want to build like either attack or speed, crit rate, or if you can get crit damage with 100% crit rate, then you'd want to go crit damage and then attack on slot 6. But the attack Verd is more for PvP or Dragons B10 speed clear teams. And then with Dragon B10 speed clear teams, a lot of people don't run their Verds that fast because they want their Verd to be the slowest on their team, because then he'll buff the attack bar of all your guys. Like all your guys will get turns, and then Verd will buff their attack bar. Because if Verd is the first one on your team to go, he likely won't be buffing their attack bar 40%. He'll only boost it, like 20% or 10% or 30%, just because you'd have to be 40% faster than your other guys to do that. But so those are the ways to build Verd. What I use Verd for personally is I use him in TOA, a lot of stages in TOA, Dragons B10, and a lot of the elemental dungeons. I use him in some guild battles teams, and I don't really ever use him in arena, but he could be used in arena if you want him to. So real quickly, I'll just run my dragons team. This is my dragons team that I'm running at the moment. It's about like 90-ish% success rate. It'll fail if Bella can't strip the immunity. Even though my Bella's on max accuracy, it doesn't always happen, so it's just RNG. But so here I have my Verdehile as my fourth fastest guy. I don't know. Like, I don't remember. I think he's my fourth fastest. I think my order is Hua, Spectra, Vero, Verd, Bella, and that's obviously not the optimal speed build, like, speed syncing, but that's what I have it at, and it still works. The optimal speed syncing, just for those who would want to know, in my opinion, would be Spectra first, and then Bella, and then Vero, and then Hua, and then Verd. That's just personally what I think would be the best. And then, yeah, but so I don't have that. My order is close to that, but I'll work on it in the future. So, Verd, I'm sure most of you guys know what Verd does. He's, in my opinion, probably the most useful nat 4 in the game in terms of like an all-around like unit. Like in some things you don't need Verd. Like in arena offense, Galleon's probably the best nat 4. Galleon or Lucian's probably the best nat 4 in the game. But in dungeons, in Dragons B10, I would say he's definitely the best nat 4 in the game. And a lot of other, just as a whole, I'd say he's probably at least close to the best nat 4 in the game. And he's insanely useful because of his passive and his leader skill in dungeons. Mainly his passive. Now, I'm sure, like I said, most of you guys probably know what his passive does, but for those of you that don't know what his passive does, is every time he gets a crit, he buffs your whole team's attack bar, including his, by 20%. So, since his first skill is a double hit, every time he uses his first skill, he gives your whole team 40% attack bar, which is insane. It's by far the most, like, the best attack bar booster in the game, like, by far. Like, there's units, like, the closest that there is to him is, like, there's units that do a 50% attack bar increase on a 3-turn cooldown, but he does 40% every turn, so it's really insane. And then he has a leader skill that gives you 28% speed in dungeons, which for dungeons is almost the best speed leader possible. The only better possible speed leader is the ones that the ninjas have, where they give elemental speed buffs of 30%. But so unless you have unless you want to use one of the ninjas and then a mono element team, then Verd is your best speed leader option, which is good. 28% is insane. It's better than a 5 speed lead, and so that's good. But the bad side of Vern is the fact that outside of his passive and his leader skill, he does pretty much nothing. Of course, if you have him built for damage, he'll do some okay damage, but he's not by any means like gonna one-shot stuff. If you want, he's not a nuker. Like, he's not gonna be one-shotting guys in arena. So that is how they balance him. He has no debuffs at all, and that, like, he's just there for attack bar. But he gives so much more attack bar than any other guy in the game that he actually is useful, insanely useful. And so now I will well, basically, I already said I use him in TOA. I could show you guys a TOA run. When I use Verd in TOA, I'll just pick 81 because I'm gonna just auto it. When I use Verd in TOA, I would use a team like Beretta, Spectra, Verd, Vero, and Bella. So other than Verd, this team is completely farmable. So I'll use it, but I actually remember because I did a video on TOA earlier, and 81, I don't remember what it was, but there was something that I didn't like about 81. Here, let me just pick a good stage, because these stages aren't looking good for Verd. So yeah, I'll just do this stage. Beretta, Verd, Spectra, Bella, and Vero. So yeah, Verd will work really good anywhere where you need attack bar or like speed. Verd is going to be very helpful for you. After this, I think I have a couple swords for guild battles, and I can show you guys how I use him in guild battles. Because just because I'm not in a guild I'm not in like G1 guild. I'm in a guild that's like in fighter and sometimes pushes into conqueror, and so I get opponents that are pretty easy for me. So I normally just do like YOLO teams. So I bring Verd in to attack gauge increase when I can. So I'll try and find a match of that for you guys. And then that's kind of what I have to say about Verd. There's not a lot to say just because his skill set is insanely simple and his uses is insanely simple. It's like, you know, he's really got like one reason, but he's just so good at that one thing. So I can kind of explain to you guys this TOA team because I assume a lot of you guys that are watching this are going to have a Verd. I'm just assuming. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I used to watch videos of people with Verd when I didn't have Verd, so I don't know. But so this team is all farmable after Verd. So if you have Verd, you can make this team, and you probably already have all these units actually if you're doing TOA, that is. And so the way that this team works, it can work in TOA hard. It's definitely not a great TOA hard team. I don't recommend it if you're trying to make this a TOA hard team. But you can kill the guys with the dots from Beretta and Vero, and then Vero AoE stuns and Spectra AoE slows, and you can also kill them with the Spectra's second skill, and Bella will death break and heal for you. and then Verd is just there to give you guys way more turns. Like, the Verd doesn't provide anything but the turns. So, for those of you guys that are watching that don't have Verd, like replacements for Verd, there's like the first thing I want to say is if you want a replacement for Verd, you can't get a replacement for Verd that is better than Verd. Like it's just that's just how it is. There's not attack bar buffers that are better than Verd in terms of like a dungeon. Like there are units that have a skill that does more attack bar buff than Verd, but like over the course of like 3 turns, there's no one that does more than him. So, your best alternative to Verd for like a dungeon or TOA kind of scenario would probably be like Bernard. Just to be completely honest, it'd probably be Bernard. And then if you're doing like arena or guild battles, there's a ton of better alternatives to Verd. Bernard you could use. You could use Purian, the water Inferno. A lot of people don't like to build him, including myself. The reason I haven't built him is because his base speed is like 20 slower than Bernard's, so it's going to be really hard to outspeed a Bernard with a Purian because 20 base speed difference. Kabila, the Light Harpy, is also a much better than Verd in PvP in terms of like a YOLO PvP team where you just want to get the attack bar and kill them. And the reason why these guys are all better than Verd is because their base speed is higher. When you're looking for your attack bar buffer, you need someone that has a high base speed. That's why Verd has 99 base speed, and the other guys I've listed have like 111. Like Chloe has 111, Bernard has 111, Kabila has like 115, I think, maybe 120. I don't actually remember. But like, Verd is probably going to be better than Purian because Verd's base speed is 99 and Purian's like 91. So I would recommend Verd over Purian. And yeah, I don't know. I've kind of like run out of things to say about Verd, but it's kind of okay because this dungeon's about to come to an end anyways. These fails are definitely not going to kill me. I know that they're bad. I have one myself, 6-starred, and I know they're not going to do anything to me. I'm just going to target this guy just to save time. And I'll do some guild battles for you guys really quick. And I'll try and get Verd in all 3 swords. And if I had to just first guess, I probably will be able to get him in on all 3 swords. Just because, like I said, I'm not in like an insane guild. And so, let me see if we're even in a battle right now. Yeah, we're in a battle and I have 3 swords. Like as you can see, there's not they're not even all level 50. This should not be very difficult. So I'll take this guy. Yeah, they're all 5 stars. I'm not saying a 6-star here. But okay, as you can see, my set teams, this is one of the teams I use. It's Galleon, Sig, Verd. I know Sig is definitely not a very good AoE nuker, but sometimes you gotta bring him. This guy did a good job of making it, so he brought 3 different elements in both teams. But I'm just going to take out Sig and put in Smokey, who once again is not your typical like AoE damage dealer in guild battles, but he's going to work against these 5 stars. So I'll just get this battle out of the way really quick. Nothing's going to happen here. And I'll just poke this guy. And that should be done, yeah. And so this is where I use Verd. I use Verd and I make him the fastest on the team. You saw he was at plus 97 speed, so that means he's on what, like not 196 speed. So I mean, he's not gonna outspeed Bernard's. He's not gonna like this, especially this Verd is not gonna outspeed like Bernard's or Chloe's or whatever. But a team like this that has no attack bar buffer, it will outspeed. So I buffed the attack bar, and then I timed a loot, and I got resisted on one, and then I'm just gonna kill this Ralagos. Oh, I didn't even kill him. But he didn't even kill me either. It's, yeah, not a great team that I brought or that he brought. So I'll just death break him, and that probably will kill him. Yeah. And I might actually lose Galleon. I hope yeah, okay. I'm not going to lose Galleon. Yeah, pretty soon I'll actually be making a video on Galleon, I think. Here's a +2. This is better. This has 6 stars. So I'll bring this into the top team, and I'm just going to put Sig back in. Another thing you could do here is instead of AoE nuker, you could put something like Susanoo, or whatever damage, a single target damage dealer. But with Susanoo, since his second skill scales off speed, I'd like to bring it with Bernard instead of Susanoo, so I'm actually not going to bring him. What? I said I was going to bring like Sig, right? Yeah, so that looks good enough to me. And so yeah, I'll probably be doing a video on Susanoo too, because I think Susanoo is after they gave him a buff. I don't know, maybe like September, October, somewhere in there. And I think that buff actually made him pretty good, and I think he's a little underrated. I don't think he's great, but I do think he's actually pretty good. So we'll see what happens here. And yeah, Verd, he does hit, ideally, if you didn't want him on HP, it's not bad to put him on attack, because his attack is actually better than his HP. Like, he's an attack type monster. He has like 800 some base attack and like a 10,000 base HP. So his base HP is not really that good, and his base attack is actually pretty good. So it's definitely not bad to build him attack if you want to build him attack. And so that should probably finish those guys, yeah. So I guess I'll do one more sword. I mean, it's gonna be the same thing you guys have seen, but I mean, I guess I might as well. Well, is there even a level 50 left? Oh yeah, there's this guy. Where should I bring Verd into? Which one would be better? I don't know. I guess. Oh, here, I know what I'll do. This top team, I have this team right here, which I actually think is, it works pretty good. This Panda, Hua, and Verd team. So I'll show you that. So it's not just like a YOLO team with using Verd, because Verd's not very good for YOLO. And so I don't know why I'm demonstrating him in YOLO. So I'll kill Vero first. And then it works really well to get attack bar because, and just turns in general, because you have the speed debuff and attack edge decrease on Hua. Bella just stripped my revenge buff, but that's okay because it's not that big of a deal. And then, but so the Panda will revenge all the time because of this revenge buff. Hua resets or pushes back the attack bar, and Verd pushes your attack bar forward. So eventually you end up getting a ton of turns. If you wanted to mimic this in Arena, you could do this team and then add some kind of like AoE stun in there. Like if you have like a Tyrant or a Verad or something, then that team would actually be pretty good for kind of like a CC Arena. But I mean, like typically people don't go for like a CC and stuff in Arena, just because in Arena people like to just finish it quick. And yeah, so that's the guild battles, and that's kind of really all I have to say about Verd. I'm gonna still keep doing these. I kind of like to make these videos where I play around with all my 6 stars. I'm not gonna make like 2 videos on Hua because I have 2 Huas, but I'm not gonna make 2 videos, and I have 2 Lucians, but I'm not gonna make 2 videos on that. But that's kind of it for Verd. I feel like this is kind of basic. I mean, it's not very hard to understand what he does and where he's useful. But that's kind of all I have for today, though, guys. I mean, the best year today's be the worst year.